Gathered friends, I would like to tell you a story. This is a story of Lucador. Lucador was a mule. He was a very special mule. He lived in the high plains of Mexico. Lucador was owned by a small Swiss banker named Jorge. Jorge was a poor man, but he was not very good at banking. And all he owned was a mule called Lucador. One day they went out to seek their fortune. But nor did they know that Lucador was extremely skilled in the art of Nacho Libre. He also whacked a very good piñata with much force, so a lot of candies fell out. One day they walked into a city. It was filled with cactus and tumbleweed. Very, very stereotypical. But you know that Lucador walked into a bar one day and said to the barman, "Hey, you, I am Lucador." The barman smiled at him and said, "Oh my God, the talking mule!" He was very surprised, fell over and died of a heart attack. This was very, very sad. Of course, Lucador was framed for this attack, and because there are no rights for mules, only humans, he was subsequently framed and imprisoned, and horrible, horrible things done to him. You see, I went into minor key there. That is because it is horrible things like whipping and shooting, and anyway, he went lame in one leg. Lucador was worried that he would never wrestle again. Which is interesting, because he never really did that much wrestling in the bar. And you would have thought that he would have, kind of taken the authorities off his tail slightly by, beating them up. Not that I'm condoning beating up authorities, anyway. Back to the story. Now, Lucador's owner, Jorge, was killed in the ensuing brawl. So, of course, in all good stories, Lucador set out for revenge. Now, as we all know, revenge is the dish best served cold. But Lucador loved jalapenos. So he wanted it hot, hot, hot. Jalapenos! Jalapenos! Hot, hot! Jalapenos! Lucador loved jalapenos. He liked them in tortillas and other kind of corn-flavored snack starchy things. But then he went into Mother Russia. It was very cold in Russia, but he had tracked the man who arrested him there. And then he met up with a man, looked him square in the eye and said, "Boo." The man was surprised and said, "Oh my God, the talking mule!" as did the barman. But then he was not so shocked or weak-hearted as the barman, and he did not fall over and die. But instead, he took a gun from his pocket, pointed it square at Lucador, and pulled the trigger. Now the bullet came out of the gun, took one look at Lucador and thought, oh, I don't want to be messing with him. So he ran away, back up the gun, blew up the gun blew up in the man's face, and he got nasty black stains over it. He didn't die though, because, this is a children's story. Although someone did die earlier, but we'll just skimp over that part because, hell, I'm making this up as I go along. You know that Lucador loved to wrestle, but now he was lame in one leg. So he went up into that ring one day, and he said, "Yo! I want to wrestle your fiercest competitor." The people just laughed at him. The laughter only fueled Lucador's fury, and he lashed out, killing them all in one big dragon breath, with lots of blood, guts, horror, death, destruction, jalapenos. Tortillas. Now, Jorge's ghost was lingering above him, and he said to Lucador, "No, Lucador, no! We do not want you killing all those people. This is a children's story. It is not good for publicity. Think of all the paperwork." paperwork was vast and immense, and Luchador spent many years filling it out. The red tape was almost strangling him. He was falling it, and he longed for his lovely Mexican plains. But when he got back to Mexico, he noted that the noted rebellious Javier Escuela had been up to no good. He took one look at Javier, and Javier thought, okay, I'll stop. Of course, this was a very good tactic, and Luchador was much famed for this. So he had all the jalapenos he could eat. Unfortunately, now they did not agree with him, so, he kind of died. And that's really the end of the story. Thank you for listening. If you would like to buy this album or any of the tracks on here and learn more about the discovery of Luchador, this is based on a true story.